Today, it's our Casa de Campo travel special. 3 incredible courses designed by legendary Pete Dye. Fine dining, world-class facilities, luxury resort and villas.
I've been all over the world, and there's not a place that's better than Casa de Campo.
This is Golf Talk Canada.
This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by SmartGolfDeals.com, the smartest way to shop for golf.
Welcome to a special edition of Golf Talk Canada. It's our last episode of 2020. So why not visit one of my favorite places in the entire world, Casa de Campo, just 40 minutes west of the Punta Cana Airport. It is my favorite golf resort on the planet. And now that Canadians are starting to think about travel again with vaccines on the horizons, free medical insurance with airlines like Air Canada, and potential rapid testing also on the horizon, I know our audience is starting to think about moving around. So why not Casa de Campo? We're going to meet all the principals today and take a journey on this gorgeous luxury property that just won 2020 Luxury Resort of the Year. But first, let's take a closer look at the beauty of Casa de Campo. Surrounded by the Caribbean Sea, stunning beaches, and perfect weather, you know immediately you've arrived at a special piece of paradise. Upon arrival, one of the first items you'll notice is first-class service. They do it right, and they do it with a smile. The people of the Dominican Republic are wonderful people. They're proud, and at Casa de Campo, it's no different. It's actually the best service I've ever experienced at any Southern or Caribbean destination. Casa de Campo is home to 3 Pete Dye golf courses: the Links, Dye 4, and Teeth of the Dog, which is rated number 1 in the Caribbean and recognized on many top 100 lists when we're looking at top 100 in the world. I had the opportunity to play 2 rounds of golf, starting with Teeth of the Dog, and let me tell you, it's a Pete Dye masterpiece. It's right up there with Whistling Straits, TPC Sawgrass, Ocean Course at Kio Island. It's a Pete Dye world-class golf course. And like most ocean golf courses, Teeth of the Dog's signature holes go alongside the rocky and sandy shoreline of the Caribbean with dramatic par 3s and par 4s on both the front and back 9. It's really difficult to pick a signature hole, but if I had to, it has to be the par 3 fifth. Plays anywhere between 145 and 125. And it is just one of the most dramatic par 3s on the planet. And similar to most dramatic par 3s like TPC Sawgrass or 7 at Pebble Beach, depending on wind conditions, a little par 3 with a tiny target, it can cause you some havoc in your round. Thankfully for me, we played it on a perfect day. Teeth of the Dog has multiple tee decks and options for all players to enjoy. If you're feeling brave, you can really challenge yourself. 7,400 yards, a rating of 76.4, and a slope of 147. There's a lot of golf course there. They recently hosted multiple big amateur championships, including the inaugural Tar Heel Classic hosted by PGA of America President Susie Whalen, which was won by Jennifer Kupcho, who recently won the first ever Augusta National Women's Amateur. They also hosted the Latin American Amateur Championship won by Alvaro Ortiz, who got to peg it up at the Masters as part of his victory at the Amateur Championship. The following day, I was treated to another Pete Dye gem, Dye 4. It plays up the hillside overlooking a marina and the Chavon River. It's tremendous. It's 27 holes and vista after vista. In many ways, it reminds me of the Valley Course at TPC Sawgrass. If it didn't have to share the spotlight with Teeth of the Dog, it'd be in the top 100 somewhere in the world as well and globally recognized. It's a must-play, a treat. In fact, in many ways, I might even like it better than Teeth of the Dog. If you're serious about your game and you want to get better, they got you covered there too. Recently opening a brand new practice facility with world-class teaching, fitting, driving range. Casa de Campo has you covered top to bottom as a full-class, world-class facility. But it's also much, much more. The accommodations, they're fantastic. We've just gone through a renovation, resort suites, rooms, a variety of options, including private homes and villas that can accommodate large groups. Whether you're on a buddy's trip, running an event, a tournament, a romantic getaway, Casa de Campo can tailor something specific to your needs. There's also a ton to do at Casa de Campo, and for someone like me who likes to stay busy and is not good at sitting still, it's fantastic. Horseback riding, skeet shooting, water sports, tennis, fishing. There is so much to explore and do on this wonderful property. If you're looking to relax, well, there's lots of that as well. The beaches are spectacular, highlighted by Manitas Beach and the fabulous Beach Club, which is on the property and has a gorgeous adults-only pool, fine dining, outdoor bar, and patio. It's a perfect place to watch the sunset. If you're looking for more adventure, take a 30-minute boat ride to the secluded hidden beaches of Catalina Island. There is so much more to experience at Casa de Campo: daily entertainment, spa and wellness, fitness, but for me, other than the golf and the people, what stands out is the dining. The food at Casa de Campo is like no other food experience in the Caribbean. One of the highlights is a dining experience at Casa de Campo is Altos de Chavon, a replica 16th century Mediterranean village in the heart of the Dominican countryside, with shopping, art gallery, 5,000-seat theater, multiple dining options with the best vistas in the Caribbean. Yes, Casa de Campo has it all. Golf packages, all-inclusive holidays, weddings, tournaments. You cannot go wrong with a visit to Casa de Campo. Wow, absolutely gorgeous. And Canada has a great relationship with Casa de Campo. Not only have Canadians been flocking there for decades, the golf director emeritus, Gilles Gagnon, has been there from day one, since the time they put the shovel in the ground. He was also very close with World Golf Hall of Famer Pete Dye. I spoke to Gilles Gagnon about his tenure at Casa de Campo. I happened to be there when we lost the legend himself, Pete Dye, and spoke to Gilles about their relationship and how important Pete Dye was to Casa de Campo. We've lost a World Golf Hall of Famer, an absolute legend, and a real visionary for this property, and a friend of yours. Mr. Pete Dye passed away this week. Just some thoughts on Pete and what he meant to you in this property.
Well, you know, without Pete Dye, this place would not exist, obviously. You know, he came here in 1969, more or less 68, and started looking at to build a golf course. He was commissioned by our company to do this, and he came here with a very open mind, and you know, he just wanted to do something very special. They look at different places where, of course, Tito the Dog would be at the time, which was not the name of it. It used to be Cahuilas, but they finally found this, you know, on the ocean. They felt that, you know, they could build a golf course, and like he said, you know, he used to say, you know, the man upstairs built 7 holes, and I built the other one because of the way the ocean, you know, the side of the ocean was curved properly to make some little kind of dog legs and so forth. So, but yeah, you know, he loved this place. He wanted to be here. You know, he passed away here. Without Pete Dye, I think golf in the Dominican Republic would be very different today. Pete had an amazing influence. He developed also all the, you know, the superintendent, the people that take care of the golf course. You know, our superintendent here, Nunez Malena, was trained by Pete in the States, and he came back here, and he's been the superintendent since, you know, 40-some years. So, you know, he's developed some amazing career. And obviously, if you look at all the architect now, you know, the Bobby Weed and the, you know, Tom Doak, and they all worked under Pete Dye at one point. And his influence and his, you know, he was a good man. I can tell you, he was a good man. Treated everybody here just amazing. He decided to do the caddy program where, you know, we have probably 250 caddies here that are employed, and it's a very good job here in this country. So, you know, we're gonna miss him, but you know, at 94, you know, Father Time wanted him, and you know, he passed away very quietly, and the place that he loved the most. So we're very proud that you know, he came back, and I was, you know, super proud to be part of his life, and was a good friend. So I wrote yesterday, I lost a mentor, a father that I've never had, and very sad.
Well, he will be missed, but never forgotten, and certainly never not loved. He's loved here, and he's loved across the entire golf community. Now, you mentioned 40 years and how, you know, he changed the landscape of golf in this country and in the Caribbean, and that seems to be a theme, that when people come here, they don't leave. And that's your story as well. You came here to try it for a year. You're Canadian-born, a hockey player originally, then a golfer, went to school in the U.S., and you find yourself coming to Casa de Campo for a year. 40 years later, you're still here.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I came, you know, I was coaching hockey and got the golf professional retired, and they needed somebody for a year, and I took it over and started liking it a lot and study a little more. And I was a decent golfer at the time and try to get better and learn more about teaching, you know, golf. But then I got the passion of being an administrator basically. So I wanted to run golf courses, and then I was hired here for a year, and I packed my bag, and we sold our house, sold our car, and left. And I think you were pretty young, 30-some years old, and I think I had $7,000 in my pocket at the time with nothing left, right? And wife was pregnant and delivered my daughter down here. She was born here, and so it was a big jump. It's just like, wow, where are we going? But sometime in your life you're going to make some decision that change your life. Sometime for good or bad, but this was an amazing decision I made, and I just didn't want to leave what I had started to build, because we started creating some events and tournaments, and people came back, and I had friends, and I made friends here, mill owners, and it mushroomed. It got to the point where there was no way I could leave. When I leave here, they're gonna leave. I'm gonna leave just like Pete Dye did. So I'm gonna leave the same way, and I'll be very proud of that.
Well, you've seen some incredible change over the 40 years, and building this facility and the people involved to build this facility. And I say that Casa de Campo is almost like its own little city, and I can't believe the growth and the development almost on an annual basis. It's just some of the changes you've seen over the years, and maybe some of the changes coming.
Well, we went from when I arrived here, we had 36 holes of golf. Now we have 90 holes of golf. We have a private club. We have a marina. The marina wasn't even there when I got there. It's a beautiful marina. A beach club that we've developed. We have a new conference center now that we've just opened a little while ago. And there's so many more projects. We're going to add rooms because we need more rooms. And also, a spa. We have a spa, but we're going to improve that. And it's amazing how, the generation basically that when I got here now is kind of like me. They're getting older and their kids are taking over. But the kids have the same vision basically. This is just not to stay, if you stand still, somebody's going to run you over. And the idea here is that we never stand still. We want to improve. We want to make it better. We want to make it, the place that people want to come to. It's amazing, people ask me, I've been all over the world, and there's not a place that's better than Casa de Campo.
Gilles, thanks so much for your time, and thanks for your support of Golf Talk Canada. And we had a great week down here, and looking forward to coming back next year and celebrating the 50th anniversary.
Well, this will be great, and hopefully I'll be here, be able to interview again with you, and bring the Canadian over here. I've been out of Canada now quite a while, but I go back there. I have family there. I'm very proud of the Canadians, and the Montreal Canadiens are not doing so good, but the Toronto Maple Leaf are great. So, come back soon, and you're always welcome.
Always great to talk to Gilles. He's a great storyteller, and I can't wait to speak to him again in 2021. On the other side, Senior Vice President Jason Kicek, we talk about how Casa has opened during COVID with the Casa Cares program. This is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of Golf Talk Canada was brought to you in part by PICTON MAHONEY Asset Management. For over 15 years, our focus has been on helping Canadians stay invested in all market conditions, including this one. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by SmartGolfDeals.com. This segment of Golf Talk Canada is presented by TaylorMade. Experience the all-new P770 and P790 irons, and let the sibling rivalry begin.
And welcome back to our Casa de Campo travel special. Well, Casa de Campo has invested in your safety. It's called the Casa Cares program. So when you're ready to travel, they're ready for you. I spoke to Senior Vice President Jason Kicek about the Casa Cares program and more.
Jason, thanks so much for taking the time to do this with me. We've seen a bunch of beautiful scenery of the resort. We talked about the golf experience at Casa de Campo today. As you already know, it's one of my absolute favorite places in the world to play golf and visit. I try to come as often as possible. But I guess obviously this is a different year. a very different year. Hopefully the world never has to go through this again, but you've recently gone through a successful reopening. So, walk our viewers through that. What was the reopening like for Casa de Campo? When did you reopen, and
Sure.
what was that process all about?
You bet. Well, Mark, it's always good to see you, and thanks again for having us on as well. And likewise, like you said, yeah, our whole world's gone through this thing together, and together we're going to get through it. We reopened the property July 1st after being closed for almost 4 months. And while we were closed, we had prepared the entire time for getting reopened. And we're very fortunate. We have very supportive owners, and they encouraged us to reopen as soon as we could when we felt comfortable and ready with the new health and safety protocols and everything. So we reopened, a very soft opening. But since then, fast forward now, we've been open almost 4 months now. It's just been a great reopening, great success story overall. I think we've continued to increase not only resort occupancy every month. The challenging part for us, being an international destination, is flights. People have to get on a plane to come here. We've had a very successful reopening. We launched we call our Casa Cares Health and Safety Protocols program. Been very well received from not only the resort or the community itself, but our resort guests. In fact, I've heard repeatedly from people who have traveled quite a bit, and golfers in particular, bar none, we have the best health and safety protocols of any place they've visited or have been. So that's been very rewarding for our team, our operations team, and our golf team especially too, to hear that feedback from our guests. Even from the standpoint of our team is trained to even wipe the credit cards off when they hand them back to you, or wipe your luggage off before the bellman gives it to you. It's just, we have a great team. They've done an incredible job of accommodating our guests, but also instilling that sense of safety, that we do care. Hence, that's why we called it our Casa Cares program. So yeah, it's been great to be open. It's been good for the community, good for our employees, but also great for the Dominican Republic too, to help get things going again.
Before we started recording this interview, you mentioned to me, though, something about the community at Casa de Campo, and that it's more than the Casa Cares program. It's more than the desire of people to get there and the success you're opening. You needed buy-in from the community, and you got it. And it's also affected the real estate sales and opportunities as well. Can you touch on that?
Sure. Without question, yeah, we're very fortunate. Kind of the dynamics of Casa de Campo. We're not just a golf resort, as you've been here many times in the past. We're a community, and we have a little over close to 2,000 homes and homeowners here that have continued to grow over the years. For those of you who might not be familiar with Casa de Campo, it's a 7,000-acre private gated community that started almost 50 years ago, and just over the years has evolved. And really, I look at it, if it wasn't for the initial ownership bringing Pete Dye here to build the famous Teeth of the Dog golf course, you and I probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I think really the legacy of Casa de Campo is built on the shoulders of Pete Dye and the incredible masterpieces he's built here, not only Teeth of the Dog, but the Links and the Dye For course he built up along the Chavon River Valley. And so over the years, people have fallen in love with Casa de Campo, end up buying a home here or a winter home. And so a direct result we have seen, and I think a lot of places have seen, as we were talking previously, Mark, people are, with the virus, they're leaving the cities. They're looking for a safe place to move their family or move themselves, or a place just to kind of reside, even if they're not going to move permanently, but they're coming to places like Casa de Campo to wait this thing out. And as really we didn't know this was going to happen, but it was an indirect effect. Real estate here has just been on fire. It's through the roof. Back to your point about the Casa Cares program, health and safety programs, we're not just taking care of our resort guests, we're also taking care of the community, because they play golf, they go to our restaurants, they go to our spa, they go, to the equestrian center, shooting center, tennis center. And so we've really had to be very cautious and careful to not only set up something that accommodated our resort guests, but also the community alike. And the community too has just been overwhelmingly supportive and grateful, really, for what we've been able to do here as a team.
Always great to talk with Jason. We'll continue our chat with Jason on the other side as a big anniversary is coming up for Casa de Campo. This is Golf Talk Canada.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Golf Away Tours. We take you around the world to play the game you love. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by SmartGolfDeals.com. This segment of GTC is brought to you by WeatherTech Canada, Canada's leader in automotive accessories.
Welcome back to our Casa de Campo travel special here on Golf Talk Canada. We're speaking with Jason Keychek, who's the Senior Vice President, and we've heard about how they've opened up and they've invested in your safety and comfort. But there are some celebratory things we need to touch on. A big anniversary coming up for Casa de Campo. It's the 50th. Let's continue our chat with Jason.
It is the 50th anniversary of Casa de Campo. We're about to flip the calendar on a new year, and hopefully 2021, especially the second half of 2021, we're all very hopeful that the globe looks very different.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I can't wait to come down. Looking forward to being there in January and seeing you in person. But
likewise,
what is coming up in 2021? Have you parked the 50th anniversary celebrations from now, or are you doing them in a different way? Yep. Give us an idea of what what 2021 is going to look like.
So we are marking the real 50th anniversary of Casa de Campo as 2022. So we have 2021 to kind of get through. The way the historical, I guess, date line of Casa de Campo started is they first built Teeth of the Dog before they built the hotel. And hence, after they built the golf course, they were like, well, we need someplace for people to stay. And that's where the hotel piece came in. So 2022 is going to be our official 50th anniversary. And yes, we are moving forward with that, sticking to that. We're doing a lot of things as well, too, to honor Pete Dye. As many of your listeners probably know, he did pass away last year, and we are doing a lot. We've done quite a bit of things already. The family's done quite a few things as well. But we have a lot of great initiatives in place that we're going to be honoring Pete Dye at the end of this year. His birthday is the end of December, so we have a big honorary ribbon cutting monument and plaque that we have already made that we're going to put on the golf course in honor of him as well. But like I said, if it wasn't for him, you and I probably wouldn't be having this conversation here, and Casa de Campo wouldn't exist. He's just an icon in our industry, and we're just so fortunate that we have his three of his amazing masterpiece golf courses to rest on. So moving forward, though, we have really not let our foot off the gas pedal from the standpoint of our golf tournaments and events. As I mentioned, we just had the Links tournament. We had the Latin American Pro-Am in September. People are still coming, and the majority of our guests, even so you have to get on a plane to get here, are still coming from the States. Now, we're not getting the attendance, obviously, as we normally do, but we still felt it was important to continue to hold these annual tournaments we've established for our guests, and also just to send a good message that, hey, we're open, we're safe, it's healthy. Once people get here, I've talked to so many guests when they first come here, they all have the same kind of story. We were so afraid to travel, or we're really contemplating not coming or traveling. And then once they got here, they were like, we're so glad we came. Well, it's like, this place rocks, you guys. We're so happy we came. We would have, no regrets whatsoever. So just kind of getting over that initial first travel trepidation of getting on a plane during this thing. We're not taking our foot off the gas here, Mark. We have an incredible place. We've been very fortunate to be in a place like Casa de Campo during this time. And we're just looking forward to brighter days ahead for all of us.
Well, Jason, I can tell you, I know the people. Obviously, I know yourself, but I know your team. I know your staff. I can't speak highly enough of the people and the care and pride they take in the job they do and the facility and community you've built. So because of that, I feel completely safe coming and looking forward, counting the days to my arrival. And I really think that comes from the care and the people that I know at that property that take so much ownership in their job and what they do. So I can't wait to see you. Congratulations on a really successful reopening. And I look forward to kicking off 2021 with you in person, which sounds like it's going to be an exceptional year. So thanks so much for your time today.
Oh, anytime, Mark. And thanks for having us, and look forward to seeing you in January.
Thank you, Jason, for his time, and can't wait to see you next year. All right, on the other side, let's take an in-depth look at the golf at Casa de Campo. Who better than golf director himself, Robert Bertel? This is Golf Talk Canada.
This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by SmartGolfDeals.com. This segment of GTC is brought to you by PICTON MAHONEY Asset Management. For over 15 years, our focus has been on helping Canadians stay invested in all market conditions, including this one.
All right, the beaches are perfect, weather's fantastic, food is great, service is impeccable. But let's be honest, I go back all the time because of the five-star golf. You know, I'd probably sleep on the floor if I could access that first tee at Teeth of the Dog. The golf is tremendous. So when I was back there in January and February, I tried to, get the ear of Robert Bertel. He is the golf director at Casa de Campo. They were just coming off a great Latin American amateur championship, as well as a series of pro-ams that have passed and into some new pro-ams. And we went deep into the 3 golf courses at Casa de Campo. Robert, thanks so much again for having me. A wonderful week so far, but the last time I was here was roughly just inside a year. Latin American Golf Championship was here. You've had a tremendous 2019. Just some thoughts on the year that's transpired now that we're early into 2020.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. First, it's great having you guys back at Casa de Campo. But you're right, 2019 was unbelievable. We started off with the Latin America Amateur, where the winner gets an exemption into the Masters. So we had all the guys from Augusta, the USGA, the RNA. It was a spectacular January. Last year we also started out the year with our Winter Pro-Am Series. So we had record years last year of how many teams came down. Those are club pros bringing members, and they get to play all 3 golf courses. And we also held our first college tournament in a long time. Susie Whaley, the PGA president, she was the host of UNC's golf tournament. So we had about 16 schools, mostly from the ACC, and Wake Forest won. Jennifer Kupcha won our tournament here, and she also won the Augusta National Women's event. So it was really cool. Moving into the summer, we had a lot of progress on the golf courses. We did a lot of work on Teeth of the Dog. We leveled tee boxes. We cleared out the areas. We improved bunkers, drainage, just to make the golf course that much playable. We did a lot of work up at Die 4 and the links as well. And ending the year, we finished our year with our Latin Pro-Am, our Twosome Championship, which had 64 players. It was a ton of fun. And then Susie Whaley actually comes back with a ladies golf retreat, and we ended the year with that event.
And it's funny, this week we're right back into your Pro-Am series. Again, a lot of teams from Canada. The one thing I always notice about Casa de Campo is it has such an international, global appeal. There's people and players from all around the world here. It seems like every month.
It's true. Yeah, this week, I mentioned we set records last year. Well, we broke those this year.
Already?
We have, so we have far more players in our Pro-Ams. We have Canadian teams. We have teams from the U.S. In our Latin America event, we have teams from 9 different countries. And one of our largest event, we had 14 different countries represented in one of our tournaments, and it's so much fun. You meet people from all over the world here, and it's really a unique opportunity. It's one of the perks of being here. You just get to experience so many different people, learn about their cultures, and then we all get to come back and talk about golf, which is our common denominator.
I'm a huge fan of Pete Dye. If anyone loves Pete Dye, they'll love the masterpieces he created and built here at Casa de Campo. You mentioned all 3 of them, and they're very different. Obviously, Teeth of the Dog initially comes to mind because ranked number 27th in the official Golf Digest Top 100 World list, and it gets all the accolades. And, maybe the best set of par 3s in the world on one golf course. Die for, in my opinion, the most underrated golf course maybe on the planet. It reminds me of Kapalua Plantation Course, what a gem, and all the accolades it gets. And I think especially that Siobhan 9 at Die for might be even better. And then, of course, the Links, which is an inland course. You've got your island greens, your strategic bunkering. Walk us through, in your mind, the difference between the courses, what you like, and the fact that someone can come here and play 3 very different golf courses all in the same package.
It's true. I think that one of the most unique things about the golf courses is, one, how playable they are. Off the tee, every handicap can enjoy the distances that Pete created, and Alice for that matter. For the ladies' tees or the forward tees and then the tees just back, they're extremely playable. People don't come out here and just get beat up because of the distances, which is a lot of fun. But Teeth of the Dog, I mean, it's on the ocean. You can't beat the views. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen pictures of it, you need to go check it out. It's something that is absolutely spectacular. You know, you have the little beaches set up around the ocean holes. Like I said, off the tee, it's friendly. But around the greens is where it'll get you. You know, you have to be able to hit nice iron shots. The greens are typically a little firmer on teeth. The bunkering and the surrounds make it really interesting. But I mean, once you get to the first time I played golf here, number 5, and you just go, look at this par 3, and it's this little peninsula green out into the water, the tees set out into the water, and you're just going, what is going on around here? And then you get to 7. I mean, 7 is spectacular. It's another par 3 over water, a little longer. 13, which is our only inland par 3 on Teeth of the Dog, which is probably the hardest because it's surrounded by an island it's an island green around a bunker. Deceptive wind patterns, you have to pay attention to where the wind's coming from, and you hit a little longer club into there. And then 16 is, you finish up the par 3. 16 is my favorite hole. It's over the water, you play in the afternoon, the sun's at your back. You know, it's just spectacular. You have the rock wall that holds the green up from falling into the ocean, and you know, it's just amazing. You can't beat it.
And then if you want to leave the ocean and get some escarpment and some hillside golf with some epic views of the marina, the Die for golf course, which has some teeth as well, not to borrow from Teeth of the Dog,
right.
But I was brave enough to try it from the tips one day, and I'm just not good enough or young enough to do that anymore, Robert.
No, I'm with you. Die for is a little longer. It definitely plays hillier, but again, it has these forgiving tee shots. It's probably the most forgiving green. It's not probably, it is the most forgiving green complexes, but the golf course itself is very hilly, so it provides challenges with sort of uphill, side hill, downhill lies. But the views at Die for are awesome. I mean, you start on number 1, which is our Marina 9, and you play down the Siobhan River, and you end up on the 3rd and 4th, 5th greens, and you have these panoramic views of the Caribbean. You're playing that. It's spectacular. It's something that you just don't see. It's amazing that it's on the same property. And then the back 9, like you say, it plays along the Siobhan River, so you're playing back up the river, and you have these, it's like cliffside golf. You're 300 feet up above the Siobhan River.
And speaking of fun, Links is a fun golf course and worth a part of the rota around here. Maybe the most underrated on the property because it has to sit in the shadow of these 2 epic layouts. But everyone I've spoken to that has come off Links this week comes off with a smile on their face.
It's 100% true. So the Links, believe it or not, as you play, in your relation to par, is probably the hardest golf course we have. It's shorter in distance from the back tee, but it doesn't play that way because it's inland. It takes you through the neighborhood, and then the back 9 plays around 3 lakes. So you have to work the ball left to right, right to left, and the greens are set right up along the lakes. But it's just a ton of fun. You have little rolling hills, but it's the hardest green complexes we have. The smallest greens, the most unique shapes, the bunkering, the runoff area. It allows people who love short game, love the Links because you hit shots out of the rough, you hit shots from the shaved fairway on a hill, and you have these unique little pot bunkers that Pete put out there. So it's a ton of fun. I highly recommend playing the Links.
Before we let you go, Robert, who do we have to call to get to 80 and 85 degrees in pure sunshine every day for 365 days a year? I don't care what month I'm here and it's perfect golf weather. How do you manage this?
So for those of you who've been here before, everyone knows Joel, our caddy master and assistant golf professional. He is in charge of the weather. So
okay.
It's his deal. Any question you have, he's right over there at the caddy master, and he can help you with that.
Robert, thanks again for a great week.
Thank you. Great having you guys.
I often say that the Die 4 golf course could be as good, possibly better at times, than the world-famous Teeth of the Dog. Okay, on the other side, we're going to go deep with Eric Lillybridge. He's the Director of Instruction. Wow, you want to practice and get better at your game? You can do it at Casa de Campo. This is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of Golf Talk Canada was brought to you by the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. The path to the PGA Tour starts here. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by SmartGolfDeals.com. This segment of GTC is brought to you by Casa de Campo Resort and Villas. The experience awaits.
And welcome back to our Casa de Campo travel special. Well, if you know me at all and you watch or listen to Golf Talk Canada, you know I am a bit of a range lizard. I love hitting golf balls. I love practicing. I love getting better. And the facility at Casa de Campo is second to none. It was a multi-million-dollar renovation to a new build to a practice facility and performance center. We took an in-depth look with Eric Lillybridge, the Director of Instruction at Casa de Campo. Eric, I've been here several times. About 8 months ago was my last trip, and I went to what used to be the driving range to hit golf balls, got completely lost, and someone said, no, we've built a tremendous brand new performance practice center. I was blown away. When I first got here, the first thing in my mind was, man, you got to be at like the Players Championship or Augusta National to find something like this. This was quite the project.
Yeah, it's been a long process, but it's been a fun process because you see this building, we have the TrackMan studio, and it's just phenomenal what we got. We got so lucky.
You got, it's going to be like close to 20 target greens out there, 400 plus yards in depth. What I like is you've got a double-ended flat tee deck grass end on both sides. So you really simulate what, you know, an approach shot on a fairway is like, and you can do it from either side, so you're always on grass. Exactly.
I mean, that's the beauty of having a double, and you can always tell that it's always in good shape because we switch back and forth. So it's always going to have nice, you know, green grass to practice on.
Of course, any practice center of this caliber needs a short game area. You've got several areas to work on, wedges, putting, etc. Is there any shot that you can't work on here if you're visiting your Casa de Campo?
We got it all. We have three practice chipping and putting greens, 5 bunkers to practice, and the greens are huge, and there's multiple targets, so, you know, a lot of uneven lies, you know, things that you're going to find when you're on the golf course. That's what we wanted to simulate.
So I'm a big fan of practicing. I can live on a range. Like, you might not get rid of me today here. And
that's fine. You're always welcome.
I loved it. But what I think is kind of picking up a lot of speed in the marketplace is that players and people, whether it's husband and wife or whether it's a guy's trip, whatever it is, I'm seeing guys work, or ladies work in lessons and getting better into their trips now. That's an option here at Casa de Campo if you're coming for a holiday, as well as if you were to live here. So what type of technology, what are you teaching out of this performance center here for people looking to get better?
So we have the TrackMan simulator, which we can do video. We can actually play a golf course, which is pretty fun. We just slide the net over. You can play a golf course for if it's raining or at night. But mainly, you know, improving the swing with the video and seeing the numbers with the TrackMan, it's pretty incredible. Plus, we have 2 bays so that outside professionals can come and use our facility as well. So it's just another tool of kind of getting more people to come, which we're pretty excited about, and it's been a success so far.
And I'm seeing also, as we're sitting here talking about the range and stuff, I'm seeing what seems to be a pretty healthy junior program. Yes. A lot of the kids hitting balls, and that's the future of our game, right?
Exactly. Right now we've got 55 kids in our junior academy, which started at 5, which is 6 years ago. So we've grown it quite a bit. It's becoming cool now, finally. So the Dominican kids are loving it, and all the kids that live here as well. So and we run around here and practice with them for hours upon hours, and they love it. So it's great.
There's not many people I get jealous of because I love my job and I love what I do, Eric, but I'm the biggest range rat of all time, and you've got the job of my lifetime.
This is pretty awesome here. I'm not gonna lie. It's not only just a great place to practice, but I get to work here every day.
Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for having us this
week.
Thank
you.
Just an absolutely incredible facility at Casa de Campo. Okay, well, we can't talk travel here on Golf Talk Canada without bringing in our travel specialist on the other side, TJ Rule from Golf Away Tours. This is Golf Talk Canada.
This segment of Golf Talk Canada was brought to you in part by Myrtle Beach Golf Holiday, the golf capital of the world. This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by SmartGolfDeals.com. This segment of GTC is brought to you by the Muskoka Bay Club and Resort. Live, stay, and play at Muskoka Bay.
When we talk travel on Golf Talk Canada, we reach out to our travel specialist from Golf Away Tours, TJ Rule. It's some interesting days, interesting times for people in the world. And certainly as we start to move around again, travel has gotten interesting during this COVID period. We spoke to TJ about what to expect, medical insurance, things to keep your head up on for COVID-19 travel.
The one thing we've learned about traveling during this global pandemic, things change, they change rapidly. Would that be correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're having to keep on top of things on a daily basis just for when we talk to clients who are maybe thinking about going away this winter. Yeah, things are changing in every country around the world on a daily basis. So it's certainly a moving target, but we'll share the information we have right now anyway.
So the one thing that seems to be moving rapidly, for lack of a better term, is rapid testing. It's appearing like countries, including Canada, are going to be more flexible with traveling, with their citizens traveling and accessing different countries with rapid testing versus quarantining. And that would really allow Canadians who feel like they want to travel, that are confident to travel, to say, hey, I can go away, and when I get back, I can, resume my regular life. That if I can do this rapid testing, that I won't need the 14-day quarantine. What have you heard about it? And, I know it's starting in Alberta. How soon do you think it leaves Alberta and gets to the rest of the country?
Well, let's hope it's soon. And yeah, going back to your previous point, that has certainly been the roadblock for most Canadians wanting to travel is, a 2-week quarantine that people can't do if they have to work or just get on with family life when they get back. So, I had a trade show online, obviously, with a lot of my partners last week from around the world. And they were all super excited about their borders opening up and we're welcoming Canadians back. And this is great. And that is great. And I kept saying to them, look, it's not you, it's us. People want to travel, but there's the restriction of the 14-day quarantine, and that makes it difficult. So the rapid testing is certainly exciting. I'm glad they're starting it in Calgary. Let's hope it moves to other airports. I know that that Doug Ford is super excited about getting it to Ontario. There's no timelines yet. But they want to do it sooner than later. We'll see how it goes in Calgary first, but it just makes sense, right? So if people can come back, get tested, and then get on with their lives, I think they would have to get tested again a few days later, get a second negative test to make sure that everything's okay. But it certainly would be a game changer for travel for Canadians.
And hopefully, maybe even by the time this interview is airing, that has landed in Pearson and Montreal and other international airports across Canada. Fingers can only be crossed. Now, I've done some traveling, as you know, for my PGA Tour radio duties. I've crossed the border by land. I have crossed the border by air. It's a very different environment, but I was very encouraged and felt a lot better about the article I read in USA Today. That was basically a Harvard research project about how safe it is to fly right now.
That's right. Yeah, Harvard was commissioned to do a study on air travel and looked at obviously a lot of different components of it, not just in the airports themselves, but specifically in the planes, with the airflow in the planes, the filters they have, and doing studies on how likely it is that people would be able to pick up the virus by flying. And what they determined was that, and this is paraphrasing obviously, but that it's safer to fly than it is to go grocery shopping in some ways. So they're saying that it is very safe to do air travel. At the same time, there are still some instances. There was a flight in and out of Ireland It was an international flight where some people got COVID, and they're not exactly sure how that happened because they were all wearing masks and they weren't sitting close to each other. So there are still some instances where people may be picking up the virus, but all in all, the study did show that it is safer anyway to do air travel, and that's encouraging. But there are ways to get travel insurance, which is great. Obviously, some destinations are doing it as well. Obviously, we're talking a lot about Dominican Republic on this show. Their government has taken the stance that they will provide travel insurance to all travelers coming into the country. They're really trying to promote, obviously, people coming back. So other countries may do the same. They're the only ones I know of at this point. But there is travel insurance available, and that's the good thing. But people should really look into it and find what they have right now. And obviously, if they're looking to purchase other insurance, then make sure they get the full details on it.
Teach, thanks so much, buddy. Hope to see you at some point over the next couple of months over this winter. Stay safe, have fun, you and your family, and hopefully we're moving again on the other side of Christmas. We're up in the air, and we're starting to visit parts of the country and parts of the world we love, including Casa de Campo. Have a great winter.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for doing this.
Always great to talk to TJ. And of course, if you're thinking about going to Casa de Campo, he can set that up for you. You could also just visit Casa de Campo directly themselves to book your trip. On the other side, we'll tell you why Casa de Campo with a final bow. And we'll get you caught up on all things Golf Talk Canada.
This is Golf Talk Canada, presented by SmartGolfDeals.com. This segment of GTC is brought to you by Bushnell GOLF, the #1 rangefinder in golf.
Well, why Casa? Why do I choose Casa? Casa Care's health and safety program, great for golf vacations, couples, families, fine dining, world-class beaches, tons of activities, stunning wedding venue by professional planners. In fact, the wedding planner at Casa de Campo planned my wedding along with Mrs. Golf Talk Canada's. Can't speak highly enough about her. Perfect weather 12 months a year, and the best service by incredible people. Can't wait to get back to Casa de Campo. We'll be heading down early in 2021 and hopefully get some more coverage for you, play a little golf and enjoy some sunshine before we come back to you as Golf Talk Canada returns for Season 7 of Golf Talk Canada Television mid-March for the Players' Championship. Season 11 of Golf Talk Canada Radio launches the first week in February across the TSN radio network. And don't forget, we have one last special for you this year. December 12th, it is Festivus Year in Review Special, Golf Talk Canada Radio, also broadcasting on TSN TV. We can't wait to celebrate that with you. I hope you have a great holiday season, a wonderful new year. We'll see you in 2021. And remember, the first good decision on the golf course, it always starts in the closet. Thank you for watching.
Mark and Bob's Clothing, provided by Adidas Golf. Ready for sport.